I will hold in order to do business with you. They break open your house one thing, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well hear this now, Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go, it come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Side, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Side, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change, and thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, this is where you get news in a different way. You get what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago in a different way, and you could also call in the program to voice your concerns and opinion on what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. Our lovely little Dubai once was in the Caribbean. So as we start off our program tonight, viewers, we're going to start off with the persons of interest for tonight, viewers. You know, every night I do this every night. You're going to say, oh, it gives me great pleasure to do it. Yes, it gives me pleasure. You know why? You don't go side and want to play cat and mouse game. You don't do that. I will put a price on your head. That is how serious I am. So we're looking for Saieed Ali. And we're also paying $10,000 for information leading to him and this vehicle that we are about to show you. $10,000 in the public domain. Anybody wants to get it. It's a Christmas bonus for you, for the police, for the bandit, for the innocent citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. I, Saieed Ali, am paying $10,000 to find this car and this gentleman. If you have information, viewers, please call us, contact us. You go bring the vehicle, drop it on my compound on Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas or 25 Superior Street in San Fernando, and you will get $10,000 cash in your hand. Whether you be from the police, whether you be from the army, whether you be from the Coast Guard, whether who you are in Trinidad and Tobago, $10,000 is up for grab. Find him, find the car, bring it to us, and $10,000 cash is yours. That is the price on his head. He have changed his address, viewers. He no longer lives where he used to live. On top of the game, you know. We know he moved out, but we're trying to find out where he is, where is the car, and $10,000 in your hand. I don't care how you bring him, you know. Serious. Somebody will say, oh, Saieed, you're inciting violence. Really? I ain't inciting nothing. What I'm inciting is I'm offering $10,000 for him and this car. That is what I'm doing. Also, we have a pretty face. They say you have a pretty face and a bad character. That's what they say. But truly, I'm beginning to see it. I'm beginning to see it. It's a real world out here. We live in a real world where real incidents happen with real consequences. So pretty face here still owing us, still running, still coming. But nevertheless, I'm glad to show you a photo on TV so Trinidad and Tobago will know. And the longer you take it, the more people are going to know about it. So when next you go to your job, they're going to say, but wait, now you owe inside. You want passage to travel home, nothing for you. So that's it, dear viewers. That is persons of interest for tonight. Also, we have some equipment for sale. We have some equipment for sale, viewers. But we're going to show you that in a little while from now. So, viewers, to our news tonight. Charges have been relayed against the 7 officers whose case collapsed after being charged with misbehavior in public office. A media release stated that the charges were relayed after discussions with the Office of the DPP, Director of Public Prosecution. The case was initially dismissed on November 18th, owing to procedural issue and is currently under investigation. Commissioner of Police Earl Hayward Christopher said that a relaying of these charges demonstrate our commitment to ensuring that justice is served. Okay, we understand what you're saying, Commissioner. We clearly do understand. But in the first place, the officers did investigations, and due to lack, I will say it again, due to lack of probably appearance on the officer's behalf, hence the reason why the matter had to be dismissed. Hence the reason why. Why? Lack of appearance, lack of finishing investigations, and the matter had to be dismissed. So you can't blame nobody else other than the police officer who were missing court. And this is where now you, Commissioner, had to pull up on these officers, because I remember Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, former Commissioner Gary Griffith, was saying police officers get paid to go to court. So you, Commissioner, have to pull up on your officers, not the civilians in Trinidad and Tobago, your police officers. Now, the officers are now expected to reappear in court to face the charges. Shocked, concern, and embarrassment also lingers among government officials. Speaking about the issue, Finance Minister Klongenberg expressed shocked because the case was dismissed, but rather because of the reason behind it. Same thing I was saying just now. Ember stated that he is not throwing or a dig at the commissioner, but when he read the story about the case being thrown out because nobody showed up or they didn't present a proper defense or prosecution, he was quite shocked. So you blame nobody about this but the officers on them. And this drew attention to Trinidad and Tobago. When this case was dismissed, this drew attention to Trinidad because I believe there were footage circulating throughout Trinidad and Tobago on social media. Yes? Throughout Trinidad. But it's sad. It's sad. Nevertheless, that is the commissioner issue, not mine. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar is not in support of the proposed salary increase for the Prime Minister, the President, and herself at this time. However, she said, the 120th Salary Review Commission report proposed salary hike should be given to judges and public servants. The opposition leader noted that there has been a lot of noise about the SRC report in the public domain, and it gives to the Prime Minister his highest ever raise if he accepts it. The SRC recommendation includes raising Dr. Keith Rowley's salary from $59,680 to $87,847 over 3 years, a 47% increase, while opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar pay would be increased from $29,590 to $52,159. She believed that the PM, the President, neither herself should not get an increase at this time. Kamala said, now isn't the time when you're offering 1 to 4%. Ooh, that is a shot. Listen to this now.
They have laid the 120th SRC report in the Parliament. There's been a lot of noise about it in the public domain because it gives to the Prime Minister his highest ever raise if he accepts it. This is the first time in the history of a country that the Prime Minister would be, if they accept that report, would be paying more than the President. So I'm watching and waiting to see what happens. But I will say this, I do not believe the Prime Minister should get an increase at this time. I do not believe the President should get an increase at this time. I do not believe that Kamala Persad-Bissessar, opposition leader, should get an increase at this time. No. Now is not the time when you're offering people 1% and 2% and 4%. It is obscene. It is obscene. It is disrespectful at this time.
Now, viewers, however, the opposition leader stated that judges and public servants should be given the increase in the report. She noted that there also was something obscene for politicians to have the power to decide on their own salary increase. Persad-Bissessar, who said the SRC report has to come to the Parliament again, added the Prime Minister has a majority with his MPs. Does he say yes? Listen to this.
However, I started about judges. The judges should be given the increases in the SRC report. The public servants should be given the increases in the SRC report. They're hardworking people. And if this is what has been assessed. But, you know, I want you to remember this. Huh? There is something also obscene for politicians to have the power to decide on their own salary increases. So that SRC report has to come to the parliament, and guess what? The Prime Minister has a majority with his members. Does he say yes? You know, the media has been hounding me. What did I have to say? What do I have to say? I had said it before when they brought the 116 report, the one they brought before, and they sent it back saying things were wrong in it. From then I've been saying the politicians should not be given the increases at this time. But I fully agree that the judges should be given increases and the public servants and the various ministers. We are in agreement with that? Yes.
So viewers, she again reiterated her stance saying no to these increases. Listen to this now.
Now is not the time. The time is not now. And I call on the Prime Minister to tell us what is his view on this report. I said the press hounded me down what I had to say. Nobody never asked the Prime Minister what he had to say. We filed a question in Parliament on Prime Minister's question day. David Lee, I asked him, MP Lee, you know, they rejected the question. The question was asked Prime Minister, what is your view on this latest report? Well, everybody wants to know what Kamala has to say. Well, Kamala says no to the Prime Minister, no to the President, and no to Kamala. Not at this time.
So viewers, while the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and the opposition, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and her MPs are saying no, it is quite right now that the public servants should get their increase. Remember recently the port, they strike, they wanted their negotiation to continue, they wanted their increase that was due to them. But the industrial court said, hey, let's stop protesting and I'll go back to work. I'll go back to work. An industrial court judge said that. Now Kamala is saying judges should get an increase. Imagine, the same judge who said, oh, let's stop protesting and go back to work, is the same set of judges now, Kamala is saying, should get an increase. You see how vice versa does work? You see how vice versa does work? The same judge telling the port workers, oh, let's stop protesting and go back to work. Industrial court judge said that. But Kamala is begging for judges. Kamala begging for judges to get increase. You see? Do so and like so. So if I were to say now, public servants should get an increase and no to judges. You know, it will offend judges. It will offend the industrial court judge. But look at it vice versa. If the judge could tell the port workers, stop protesting, follow their rights and go back to work, it's fair enough me that the judge deserve an increase in salary. You understand? I could say that. I could say that. But that is showing you the different side of it. It's sad. But nevertheless, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Robinson Regis, opposition leader, to benefit after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Real Talk. Remember, we at Real Talk Financing, we are offering you 4% on our fixed deposit, viewers. Remember that nobody else is giving you that upfront interest other than Real Talk. Remember that, viewers. Christmas is coming. Those of you who have your cash put on in the bank and it is doing nothing, make an investment. Now, like I say, if you invest 100,000, it could be more, it could be less. Once you put it for 5 years, you're getting a 4% interest and you're getting it up front. So if you have a 100, 200,000 or 50,000 lying around in a bank doing nothing, you're not getting sufficient interest, take it out, bring it to Real Talk. Christmas is coming, the same 100,000 you have in the bank, and you have to go and break it to spend for Christmas. Don't break it. Come and put on a fixed deposit. You're getting $20,000 interest on a 5 years base, and you're enjoying your Christmas with that. Imagine that. Imagine that. You can even travel abroad with that 20,000. So nevertheless, viewers, again, Real Talk equipment, we have some equipment for sale, viewers. Anyone? We have some beautiful equipment for sale. We have a 7-ton truck, 7-ton wrecker truck, sliding bed, with a crane in it. So if you run off the highway, you know, deep down in the bushes, there's a crane to wreck you from all the bushes and then put you on the sliding bed. Viewers, this is an excellent prestige condition truck. Look at the condition. Beautiful, beautiful prestige condition. You're interested? Contact me at 339-1670. Perfect. There's 2 jobs in one with this truck. Heavy equipment transport and wrecking. You cannot go wrong. Those of you who want to start a business, this is the perfect thing for you. Also, we have a excavator for sale, viewers. It's a 306E. It is one of the new model excavator. This also, instead you just have the bucket alone, just digging a drain or a pond, there's also the grader. That grader blade you've seen, you're also grading road while you're going along. So viewers, also that is 2 jobs in one. You can hire to dig a pond, or drain, and you're grading a road one time. So instead of charging them 1,000, you could charge them 2,000. That's it right there. A pond and a road at the same time. Instead of hire 2 equipment, you have 1. So look at that. You interested, viewers? Contact me at 339-1670 and we could do business. Before we start, we have persons of interest for tonight again. Don't tell us something. We hot tonight, you know. We hot tonight, you know. Saieed Ali, $10,000 is being rewarded to find this man for me and also this vehicle, viewers. You find the man, you find the vehicle, you bring him to me, you collect your 10,000 and we got to go there. We got to go there, viewers. Vehicle. Look at the vehicle here. PED 9540. So anybody looking for a quick change for the Christmas? You have it right there. You have it right there, viewers. So as we start back our program tonight. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program, man. You're hitting the nail with the sledgehammer there with reference to the police officers and what the opposition leader has presented on them on the night forum. But with the police, with reference to the police officers, who is investigating these police? Their own colleague is investigating them.
Yeah.
And they are leaving a window, a loophole in the cases against the colleagues. So when they leave that loophole and you go to court, they're going to win the case, they're going to throw out the case. So what they did here was recharge these officers. They have to face the courts again. Nothing is going to happen because you know what the lawyer is going to fight? This is victimization and vindictiveness against these police officers. So this case may run for about 10 years. After that, what promotion they were supposed to get, they will have to be promoted because they're going to win that case. Their case will be dismissed. They will sue the state for millions of dollars. And there's where we are in this country today with the police service. Their own colleagues, it breaks in. The police service is a big mafia organization that breaks in and defending each other and leaving loopholes for the colleagues to win the case, you know. And with reference to the opposition leader, yeah, fine, she did just what she has to do and what the opposition is supposed to do. Come out and make a statement just like with property tax and the increase in light bills and water rates and things. They did just what they're supposed to do, but nothing will happen. In one breath she said, no, I don't want any increase in salary, but the other breath she is saying it has to come to parliament. She really have no control of that when it comes to parliament. If the Prime Minister and the Cabinet approve it, and they have the majority. Here she's saying they have the majority. Yes. So you know what's going to happen? Yeah. That bill will pass and they all will get that increase which they want and which they will be happy to get. So opposition leader, what you should be talking about is the citizens of this country. Yeah, you know, that crack windscreen and brakes like law. Tell the citizens you're going to repeal that when you're going to government. That is what you're supposed to be doing. If you want to better the country and you love the citizens so much, that is what you're supposed to be doing. Not coming and talking, you know, this kind of stupidness and feel you're going to fool the citizens of this country. And to police officers and licensed officers, I want you all to get 0, 0, 0 because you all are advantaging the citizens of this country and you go on behalf of the mafia government and issue tax collection tickets to your fellow citizens. So you must get 0, 0, 0. Mr. Sai, God bless you, man. Keep up the great work you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this bacchanal. Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Camille Robinson-Regis, have stated that regardless of what Prasad Biswas has said, she will still benefit if the SRC report becomes a reality. Robinson-Regis said the SRC had done its work, and if the results are made a reality, no matter if Kamala Prasad says she doesn't want it, the wage increase, she will get the wage increase. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, Camille Robinson-Regis right here is saying to Trinidad and Tobago that I want my increase. In other words, she is saying that the SRC did their work. Then the SRC saw that the Prime Minister increase was a 47% increase. And didn't the SRC that the CPO's office is offering 4% of public servants? Did the SRC also saw that? Didn't the SRC do their work also? Didn't Camille Robinson-Regis also saw that members, MPs, increase would be between 36 to 38%? Didn't she also saw that the CPO office is offering 4% to public servants? Krongenberg said, is it that you take it or don't take it? Didn't she see that also? Now Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, Independent Senator Paul Richard is questioning how the SRC came up with its latest recommendation, which includes over $150 million in back pay for public officials. Is this not going to burden the taxpayers? I'm asking. Because Krongenberg said on an interview, to pay $705 million is going to be a burden on the taxpayers. So I wonder if this $150 million would not be a burden on the taxpayers. I'm asking that question. Richard said he believes that SRC needs to provide a benchmark by which the recommendation was made, especially after initial report was rejected due to anomalies in the salaries of the government minister. He questioned, are the recommendation benchmark against regional or international position with compatibility, responsibility? The judge, who asked to remain anonymous, said some local judges' salary even exceed that of the Caribbean or the CARICOM colleagues, such as judge in Barbados and Jamaica. All I hear Bacchanal coming out now? All I hear thing coming out now? A judge who wants to remain anonymous find this unbelievable and all. Imagine that, eh? A judge come out and said, this is unbelievable. It's sad. Now, while the SRC report comes amid heightened protest by public servants to get the higher wages, the judge suggested that everyone receive their same pay hike. Everyone. So the Prime Minister is going to get 47% increase. The MPs are going to get between 36 to 38% increase. And the public servants now in Trinidad and Tobago, them had to settle for 4%. Is the public servants getting tax exempted? Are they getting free meals in a hotel? Are they getting the travel free? Are they getting vehicular tax exempted? No, they are not getting that, but them are to take 4% or nothing. That one easy it is. So while you are calling to say side you're bashing, this is the reality of what all are getting. This is the reality of what all are getting. Next to nothing. Next to nothing. It's sad. It's stinking sad in Trinidad and Tobago that this is how it goes. So I am asking, where's the union leaders? All the union leaders, all the heads, where are you all? Why haven't you come together to keep one massive protest in Trinidad and Tobago against the pay hike for MPs? Where are you all? 4% or nothing, Krongenberg say. While Krongenberg is getting between a 36 to a 38% increase. With perks. I'll get 4%. I call you begging. Like beggars. Sad. Really, really sad. And ridiculous at the same time. One judge wants to remain anonymous. One judge and is kicking against it. I wish he could call me. I wish that judge could call me and we could have a personal discussion. So viewers, it's that time now where it's 7:30. We are going for a short commercial break, viewers, but when we come back, we're going to hear Padarata Gonzalez tell the public how much money being spent on WASA executives, 100,000 and more after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Life throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Protest action have been amped up at the Hilton, Trinidad and Conference Center Hotel. Workers pondered the pavement with placards in hand and were later joined by officials from the Communication Workers Union. Union officials says the talks are ongoing over wages increase over the period 2019 to 2024. However, workers are not happy with offers being made by the hotel management. One worker stated that they are not refusing to meet with the company, but they are exercising their rights to show our sad part against the offer that the company is offering. Listen to this.
As it stands right now, we are not refusing to meet with the company, but we are exercising our right to show our disdain and support for our workers, our members, against this oppressive offer that the company has offered to the Communication Workers Union. However, we have agreed to continue a discourse, and we are not willing to sacrifice basic things of cost of living allowance from $170 to a mere $164, and the company is trying to pressure us to take $162 on a cola which has been frozen for some years.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, what was advertised as a candlelight vigil started as a full-on protest with port and TNTech workers clamoring for higher wages and better working conditions. Almost 100 members of the Seamen and Waterfront Workers Trade Union, Oilfield Workers Trade Union, among others, assembled on the dock road in Port of Spain to press their demand for higher wages. OWTU President General Ansel Roger stressed that workers were not participating in industrial action. SWWTU President General Michael Anisette criticized the government and the Port Authority for not adhering to conditions promised to workers. He said, "We cannot continue in a society whereby workers are still living on 2014 salaries. We are not going to accept 4% over a 6 years period. It is unfair to workers." This is what they are saying. So, let's hope that they get through. All the union needs to come together in order to fix this problem. I want to let you understand something. The Prime Minister is getting a 47% increase. Members of Parliament are getting a 36 to 38% increase in salary. And you have to settle for 4%. Is either you take it or you don't take it. That is what being pushed down your throat. Pushed down your throat. Why? Because the MP feel they have all the rights. It's sad. You all waited for a time like this to swallow it. It's sad. Moving along. The Princeton MP Barry Patharan is renewing his call for Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez to reveal the salary of senior managers at the Water and Sewerage Authority, WASA. Despite multiple Freedom of Information Act requests being denied by WASA, Patharan said Gonzalez must tell the public how much money is being spent on WASA executives. Now, listen to this, If someone files an FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, on any ministry seeking information, the ministry have all rights to respond to it. Failing to respond to it, meaning you have something to hide. And I don't care what they say. If you fail to respond to a Freedom of Information Act, meaning you have something to hide, you have something that you don't want the public to know, and that goes against the Freedom of Information Act. So if you didn't know, Marvin, now you know. And you as a minister supposed to understand the Freedom of Information Act. You as a minister supposed to be willing to honor the Freedom of Information Act rather than going against the Freedom of Information Act. It's so sad, Marvin. It's so sad that you're fully educated. You are the Minister of Public Utilities and you're going against the Freedom of Information Act. A simple thing as that. A simple thing as that you're going against. So now, with you, Marvin, going against the Freedom of Information Act, you think anything you come in the public domain to say, you want us to believe what you're saying? I'm asking, you're a big man, you're a big minister, you're running a big ministry as WASA. You're the Public Utilities Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And a simple thing as the Freedom of Information Act, you are being neglected to it. Neglected to honor it. So what does that tell you, Marvin? What does that tell you? What does Trinidad and Tobago have to say about that now? You being a minister. So nobody can get no information from you. You some king dash shot, Nobody can get information from you. Some lawyer in Trinidad should have summons you to court. Or some judge in Trinidad. Judges need to stand up now. Serious. Judges need to put down their foot now and start summoning ministers to court. All I want to see changes. The highest office in the land, the judges now, supposed to summons minister to court now. And watch me, make ministers feel small. Make ministers feel small because they offer up themselves to serve the people. They're forgetting that. They're forgetting they were once nothing on the side of the road. Me, I will tell you as it is, you know. I will tell you as it is. This WASA new CEO, Keith Roy Hallidale, is set to earn 100,000 plus perks. I'll listen to this now, man.
But I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago, I have several letters in my hand this morning. Several freedom of information that myself, my agent, MP Saddam Hussein, working together with myself and my agents, have filed in terms of WASA. And these are refusals from WASA. Refusals of freedom of information requests from WASA to answer the critical questions. And you ask yourself, what is WASA hiding? We would have never known in this country that over $110,000 is being paid in salary and perks to the WASA CEO, Keith Roy Hallidale. If I did not take matters into my own hands, file the freedom of information at WASA, to which they refuse, and I have the refusal letter here, refusing to answer the question, then having to threaten judicial review and then go and file a question inside of the parliament. So it is a classic case of suppressing information on public expenditure and public monies. Then we asked another question. The 10 senior managers that WASA has hired, what was the process used to hire these managers? We are being told that former general election candidates, and this is not the first time I'm raising this, former general election candidates of the PNM have been hired as senior managers at WASA.
You see how the truth has come out? You see how the truth has come out? Marvin is want to go on a platform and address Trinidad and Tobago with what he wants us to know. But what we, the citizen, wants to know, he's refusing to answer. But what you're saying? Wait. What Marvin's saying? We are here to work for the people, correct? And you're refusing to answer a Freedom of Information Act question? Sad. And you call yourself a minister in Trinidad. You call yourself you're working for the people. What are you really? Ask yourself that. What are you really? Now, Minister also asked, why was it that the chief personnel officer did not determine the term and condition of those managers? That's a question. Questioning what WASA had to hide, Padarat also criticized Gonzalez for being at the center of an allegation made against our WASA employees. In response to the court ruling, Padarat said, while the minister has told us to eat less macaroni pie and ham, our taxpayers' dollars are jumping out to pay our legal costs and settlement for political prosecution. He added that WASA will have to now spend millions of dollars to pay a former WASA employee for political prosecution and victimization. Let's listen to this.
You see, while the ministers told us, eat less macaroni pie and ham, our taxpayers' dollars is jumping up to pay out legal costs and settlement for political persecution and victimization. How did that matter arrive in the high courts of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago with Lizama versus WASA? The population, all they understand at this point in time is that WASA will have to fork out millions of dollars to pay to a former WASA employee for political persecution and victimization. But how did we arrive at that situation? We arrived at that situation because the Minister of Public Utilities made allegations of misconduct against a WASA employee.
Trinidad and Tobago, is this news to your ears? Caller, good night.
Good night, sir.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Mr. Saieed Ali, I'm listening to your comment that is saying about Marvin Gonzalez. I just called to inform you that Mr. Marvin Gonzalez is not just a minister, this man is a lawyer. So, with what you were saying concerning that the Freedom of Information Act, he's supposed to know that within 30 days, this man is supposed to provide that. And he can't go and tell the people, the court, or the country that he don't know that.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, well, good night, Mr. Saieed Ali.
Good night to you also. So you see Trinidad and Tobago, Marvin Gonzalez is a lawyer now. He's a lawyer for Trinidad and Tobago. He was called to the, what? He was called to the bar to be a lawyer in Trinidad and Tobago. So now I ask Marvin on national television, who are you working for? Who are you really working for? So let me tell you something. In Trinidad and Tobago, judges need to step up. We need a team of lawyers in Trinidad and Tobago, an independent team of lawyers that would stand not only for Trinidad and Tobago, but stand for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, stand for the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago, stand for the justice of Trinidad and Tobago. Is there lawyers in Trinidad and Tobago would like to commit themselves to form a group that would seek the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago? I'm asking that. I'm asking that. Because their sons and daughters dwell right here in Trinidad. Right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Their sons and daughters, even the lawyers have to be fearful for their life, the way crime is going right now. So do we have that team? Do we have these people that wants to come together just for the betterment of our country? Because I am doing my part on television, educating you, bringing out what's in the dark to the light. And it is costing me 1 point something per year. Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Marvin Gonzalez, he's a lawyer. He used to work Ministry of Works.
Thank you, my dear.
Hello?
Yes, thank you so much. You see how information coming out Trinidad and Tobago? This is what I like. Call in and tell the people. 32 callers confirm now that Marvin is a lawyer. So if Marvin is a lawyer, as both of them said, why not honor the Freedom of Information Act? What you hiding? What you hiding? Caller, good night.
Yeah, hello?
Go right ahead, you're live.
Yeah, hi, good night.
Good night.
Right, so basically, we live in a society that accepts.
Go right ahead, I'm listening.
Hello?
Go right ahead, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Go right ahead, I'm listening.
Right, so we have so much of crime taking place in this country. And yet, we have the police service coming out and conducting so many roadblocks.
Correct.
So I don't know what they're looking for. If we're looking for the bandits, or we looking to penalize the users of the road.
I understand what you're saying. I understand.
The next thing is, like, I understand what you're saying about literally there's so many people in this country suffering. The first thing is when you go to the hospital in this country, you have to sit on a line. Yet they say it's free healthcare.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. But we are getting some problems in communication. But I understand what you're saying. So viewers, switching gears now, the president of the Scrap Iron Dealers Association, Alan Ferguson, and other members protested at a scrapyard in Penal, calling for the closure for all scrapyard run by foreigners. The group accused foreigners, particularly those from India and China, of owning and running scrapyard across Trinidad or across the country. They claim these foreigners operators are trying to take over the industry from local dealers. However, a representative from one business denied the allegations, calling them false. He offered no further comments except to accuse the protesters of trespassing. Listen to this.
Here because we see something called, we call it traitors. Because we bring them here to work with us, we bring them here to buy our material as exporters, and now they start to take away the yards and them from people who are under pressure. So we as the members of the association say enough is enough. We're not waiting for no government to help me. We're not waiting for no police to help me. We're saying we going to take back our industry.
We are fed up.
We're fed up from them and that. So enough is enough. That's why we're here today, and this is the start. This is the start of a lot of protests to take place. This is the start of what we're going to do in all them foreign scrapyards. We're causing mischief in Trinidad and Tobago. And to make it clear, they're buying things where they ain't supposed to buy. They're taking things where they ain't supposed to take. They're doing what they ain't supposed to do. This don't care about we and this industry. And this industry is the last industry that they have for poor people. And we decided that we can't allow them to take away this from we. Never!
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, stay locked on. There's more after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Bacchanal again, right here in our country. Right here. Senior counsel Gilbert Patterson was paid close to $9 million in legal fees for representing Paria Fuel in the Commission of Inquiries into the diving tragedy in which 4 divers lost their lives on February 25th, 2022. At a state-owned company facility while undertaking underwater pipeline works. It's sad. According to a response sent by Paria Fuel to Freedom of Information requests, artisan was paid exactly $8,951,753.65. Now, a former Petrosian employee filed a Freedom of Information request on October 25th, 2024. Now, come back to me there. Let me show you something Trinidad and Tobago. A former Petrosian employee filed a Freedom of Information request on October 25th, 2024. Wants to know the payment of these lawyers. But part of that, sent a Freedom of Information Act asking Marvin Gonzalez for information, but Marvin Gonzalez, being a lawyer, refused to answer. You see the difference? You see the difference? Paria honoring a Freedom of Information Act, but the Minister of Public Utilities, who is a lawyer, also refusing to honor a Freedom of Information Act. Well, let's see how the thing is work. That's how the thing is going, Trinidad. When you're big, you're large. But when you're big and you're large, you're embarrassing yourself being big and large. It's sad you're being cut down by a tree. It's sad. It's stinking sad on Marvin's behalf. Now, going back to Paria. Seeking a copy of official documentation of the total legal fee paid by Paria to Gilbert. And Gilbert Patterson SC and Associate for legal representation of the Commissioner for Inquiries carried out in 2023. The Commissioner for Inquiries cost $15.68 million, for which Chairman Jeremy Lynch, Casey, and Gregory Wilson, the legal team, received $10,790,000. So I want to ask a question. Over $10 million have been, over $15 million have been spent to find out who was wrong and who was right. How much money did the families of the diver receive? How much did they receive? In January, LMCS attorney Carmani Posad stated LMCS had finalized payments to two of the families under the Workmen Compensation Act, for which the maximum payment is $100,000. $15 million spent in an inquiry. And all they got was $100,000 workman compensation. So viewers, it is time I must say good night to you until